Dr. Carla Berghoff with the National Institute of Fisheries in Argentina, or INIDEP, also is the acronym. And Carla, I'm really thrilled to have your presentation today to think about how INIDEP, as well as the larger government of Argentina, has been thinking about OA research priorities as directly supporting international, bilateral, as well as national priorities. And you've been really leading across those scales and across different departments. So Carla, can you hear me okay?
Yes, do you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Great,
cool.
Go ahead and take it away and I'll get off your screen here.
Thank you. So hello everybody, and thank you, Jesse and the Ocean Acidification Alliance for giving us the space to give this talk. And I would like to, I'm going to talk about the ocean acidification monitoring that we are doing in Argentina to support the climate and ocean acidification commitments. Next, please.
Yes, ma'am.
So I would like to start this talk by telling that the Argentine continental shelf and its shelf break constitute one of the largest and one of the highly productive areas in the world oceans, and sustain commercially important and populations of fish and invertebrates. Argentina has almost 5,000 kilometers of sea coast. These not only including more than the double of coastlines in Antarctica and Falkland Islands, and taking the account of and the extension of our sea and coast and diversity of our habitats and different regions of the Argentinian coast has different variabilities and trends and change in the absorption of CO2 and climate change. Then this is how we came up with these priority issues in Argentina. And as you see, currently there are at least 9 institutions and universities that under ministerial Argentinian Blue Pampa initiative umbrella are developing research on the ocean acidification topic, not only in monitoring, but also on doing experiments to gain understanding of ocean acidification future conditions and biology. Next, please. Yeah. So, what do we already know about CO2 and ocean acidification in the Argentine Atlantic sector? Pioneer studies almost 2 decades ago showed that this sector is one of the strongest and highly heterogeneous CO2 sinks area in the world oceans, and the biological pump is playing a dominant role in the CO2 dynamics. As you see in this image, the National Hydrographic Service, who lead this huge and big magnitude monitoring, came up with unavailable information, but also this information can never be repeated, you know? Like up to date, we never achieved this amount of geographically and unavailable information collected. And something important is part of this information is not only available in SOCAT, which is an international global database of CO2, but also it's in journals and in many theses. Next, please. Recently, the National Hydrographic Service from Argentina contributed to the UN SDG 14.3.1 indicator with quality control, total alkalinity, and dissolved inorganic carbon dataset and its metadata collected on oceanographic cruises carried out during the 2005 and 2006, covering most of the Argentina Atlantic sector. In this way, key information provided from Argentina can be integrated with data not only in other parts, on other sites in Argentina, but also in the world. Next, please. Continuing a little bit with the chronology, most of the recent research projects that include ocean monitoring of CO2 and ocean acidification related variables in the Argentina Atlantic sector are carried out within the framework of binational and regional partnerships. As you can see in this collage of images, you can see that SAMOC, STS, STSF, CASIS, the Beagle Strait and Coastal are projects like really important projects that that have been held in Argentina and have the partnership with Uruguay, Chile, Brazil, and even United States. But something important, as you can see, only two, SAMOC and Coastal, are only that have been running since 2009, are still ongoing. So this is important because we still have little information about the spatial-temporal variability and the drivers along the Argentine sector, which makes it difficult to infer oceanification in our region. So we really need more of these long-term monitoring projects to be ongoing and to continue. Next, please. And these needs of long-term monitoring has been tackled by the Interministerial Pampa Azul initiative of the Argentine government. And at the national level, this encompasses the Pampa Azul or the Blue Pampa, encompasses a lot of scientific areas of research and conservation. But one of the key initiatives is the network of Pampa Azul, which encompasses not only the Red Observación Marina Argentina, which is the marine observation network of Argentina, but also the Argentine remark stations to better understand oceanification and climate ocean change. ROMA is a national collaborative coastal physical and ecological time series monitoring network all along the Argentinian coast and in the Antarctic waters, which is collecting measurements and at several sites. On the other hand, the Argentine remark stations in Buenos Aires coastal region are part of the bigger initiative, which is the Latin American and Caribbean Regional Ocean Acidification Observatory under the Remarco network. Next, please. So, thank you. So, ROMA includes both autonomous and in situ time series coastal monitoring sites. The autonomous series will gonna soon be deployed. Hopefully, they will start the first stage of deployment in the second semester of this year, and will include pH and dissolved oxygen sensors in different sites. But also, the ecological time series monitoring, there's many sites. Some of them are already running and just being incorporated to ROMA initiative, like EPEA, which is one of the time series stations that we are been running at INIDEP since almost 22 years old. And the newly started station at Patagonia, which is Estación Fija Geneo, which has been running since 2018 and just implementing ocean acidification related variables under the help with the Ocean Foundation. But also in Antarctica or in the southern tip of Argentina in Ushuaia, soon they're gonna start a new time series. Next. So I'm going to talk about the more that I know, which is the time series, the ecological time series stations that we are running under INIDEP. EPEA, which is the oldest one that I just mentioned, also Coastal, which is the 3 sections running along with the Uruguay country. But also we just included a new one, which is more recent and also includes pH and total alkalinity measurements, which is run by divers in a citizen-state context. So this is our main time series in the Northern Atlantic continental shelf, but they are not the unique ones. And we hope to expand this under the ROMA umbrella. Next, please. But in addition to in situ observations at ecological time series, INIDEP is also has been running since 2017 a monitoring of underway an underway PCO2 monitoring in the Argentina Atlantic sector with our new research vessel, Victor Angelescu. And something important about it is like INIDEP has the commitment to monitor and understand changing patterns over time and space, particularly in areas associated with the main fisheries, because this is the main objectives of our institution. And after 2 years of monitoring during 2018 and 2019, we already collect several data, not as much as the National Hydrographic Service did in previous period, but it's been 2 decades. It has been 2 decades since there wasn't new data, and now Argentina is collecting new data in our Atlantic sector. And this data, part of this data is already available in SOCAT database, and we are planning to continue sending data to SOCAT in order to contribute to the global efforts of CO2 monitoring. Next. So as you can see from the overview that just presented, Argentina has a promising committing to monitoring CO2 and ocean acidification. And although I don't even have time to comment about all the flourishing development in experimentation in organisms, we are still at the new beginning. I mean, we cannot fail to highlight the challenges we face of maintaining time series in situ observation in Argentina, like other development countries. And I told this to Vivian Lutz, which is my advisor. And it's important to know that it's really hard to maintain continuity in the frequency and improving sampling on the field. We are having more people dedicated to oceanography and in ocean acidification research during the last year. It has been starting to grow, but yet we are still young on that. And if you want to continue to monitoring on the ocean, not every institute in Argentina has research vessel. And in our case at INIDEP, that we have them, it's difficult to maintain them. And not only to maintain the ships, but also to maintain the instruments and the supplies that we need. It's really hard to get them. And even if we have the money, sometimes it's not only the budget that we have allocated, it's also how difficult it is to get the supplies from abroad. And I'm not going to sound positive, I'm sorry, but for example, in our case, we really have we really experience a problem with our PCO2, and it's been like really difficult to get the instrument come back to Argentina in a really long small period. So I don't know if my video just stopped.
I turned you off accidentally because go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, Carla.
But did you hear me? Or
yes,
I was
yes. No, we
okay,
got
cool.
you did.
So the important message is how hard, but we are still running, and we have the Pampa Azul umbrella under us helping us. It's really an advance comparing to previous stages of development in the ocean acidification research in Argentina. So I think we are going in a good way, but we still need to be honest on facing these challenges, you know? So without further, I'm not going to continue talking, but next, and I'm gonna thank not only the LAOCA that I didn't mention, all of these umbrellas in Argentina and in Latin America, we have the support of several Latin American and international networks like GOAON or LAOCA. And I think this is important for us to be more trained and hopefully to continue these projects, you know?
That's a great presentation, Carla, and so appreciate you giving it and just being part of this effort over the last several years and being willing to share out on it. And totally, I mean, this so makes the case to policymakers, particularly in the climate space, but of course in the coastal marine space too, about the significance of the time series. And I have personally found, I'm sure you have too, that communicating the time series needs for meaningful coastal information and response is one of the hardest things to do in the policy context with people that are not practitioners or not familiar, myself included. And so having examples like the regional coordination under things like Pampa Azul, but also showing how you're incorporating all these various OA related parameters across research and conservation frameworks that already exist really helps make that case. So so thank you for sharing that out. And I think it's a really important case study for showing what's possible with that sort of sustained support, and ideally the continued sustained support. So thank you, Carla.
Thank you for the space, Jessie.
Good to see you, my friend. Great. Well,